Alright, so our data template selectors are ready. Now let's move to the home view model. Inside view model, I'm going to create a new class, home view model. Okay, this is going to be a public partial class, and the base class is going to be base view model. If you remember, we are having this base view model. Alright, inside this, we'll use our constructor. And here we are going to have our iPosts API. So post API. Alright, now we'll need to define things one by one. So first thing, we need to have a list of posts. So for this, we are going to use an observable collection object. So observable collection of type post DTO. Alright, so we'll call this posts. Okay, we can have a default value as blank array if we want to. Alright, now we need to fetch the posts. So for this, we are going to use a command. So we'll say private async task fetch posts async. Alright, here we are going to use our base make API call method. So make API call, we'll say async, then inside this we are going to call our API. So on post API we have get post async, and it needs start index and page size. So we will define these two things here. We'll say int start index equals 0. It will start from 0. This is actually by default is private, but I like it explicitly. Then we'll say private int, we can have it as const as well, private const int page size. Okay, so post, what number of posts on one page, you can have it whatever you want, 10, 20, 50, whatever. Now we need to provide these things. So we'll say start index and page size. Now this is going to give us a post DTU, array of post DTU. We'll say var post equals await this thing. Okay, now we have this list. We need to get these items now from here, from this post, and we need to add it to this observable collection post. Okay, let's add this. So we'll say for each var, let's say p in these posts, and we'll say our post dot add this p. All right, save everything. Let's make it as a command, and when we are fetching it, we got some items. We check if post dot length is greater than 0, then only we'll loop through and do all these things. And we'll do one more thing. We have the start index. We'll keep on increasing the start index. Right now, if start index was 0, now let's say we got these 10 items. Now start index should be 10, right? And then on next page, if we got maybe 5 items, the start index should be 15 now. The start index is the from where we are fetching next posts. Okay, here we'll say start index index start index plus equals posts dot length. Okay, now we'll have one more case. We are going to have refresh view on this home page. Let's say we are scrolling. Now we'll use endless scrolling with collection view here. When we are scrolling it, initially it will pull 10 records. Then when we are scrolling and it is going to reach to the end of the collection view, it will simply send one more request to API, fetch the next data and append it to the post. So we will have endless scrolling. But if we go back, we scroll to the top again and we pull to refresh, this time we are actually fetching the first set of records. So in that case, we will have start index 0 only. Okay, so we need to handle this case as well. So setting that 0, that will have separately in a method, in a command where we'll handle that refresh command. But in that case, for that one, when we'll refresh, in that case, those posts should again start from the first item, the post collection. We should not append those because that does not make sense, right? In that case, our observable collection should reset. That's we are going to do here. Inside the post.length, first thing we'll say, if start index is 0, it could be the first case when we are first coming to the home page, or it could be the case when we are trying pull to refresh. We'll come here. After that, we'll check if posts.length, not this post, the observable collection post, if this length is greater than 0, that means we are having not length, count. This means we already have some items. So this indicates this is pull to refresh. Pull to refresh. Here we'll say reset the post observable collection. All right. So here we'll say posts dot clear. And after that, we'll go the same way. Save everything and we are good. All right. So now it's time to call this. When should we call this? This is the main thing. So what we can do from this constructor only, we can call this without awaiting, because constructor right now in C sharp, sync constructors can't be there. So we'll do this. We will not await it. So we will come here, it will trigger this. This call should complete. This is the way we are going to do. You can have one more approach. You can maybe have a separate method for this and you can call it on appearing or something like that also. But let's go with this approach. Now, first thing is this. After this, whenever we'll do the this is going to reach at the end, then also it should come. That we'll handle next. But right now we have this basic push. We are good to use this. First, we'll save everything. We'll grab this home view model. We'll go to our home page .xaml.cs. We are going to inject this home view model in our constructor home view model, and let's set the binding context equals this home view model. After that, let's quickly go to the MAUI program.cs to register this in our dependency container. So we'll say builder.services. Here we can have add singleton home view model, and then add singleton home page. Save everything and we should be good now. All right. Save everything. Go back to home page. Now we'll get rid of the scroll view and all these things. Vertical stack layout. We don't need this now. For now, I'm going to comment this out. I'll not remove it. I'll remove it later. Inside this grid, we are going to use a collection view. Before that, let's set the data type for this content page so that we can have IntelliSense. First thing, we'll add XML and SVM, which is view model. Here we'll say view model. Save everything. And then we are going to set X data type. This is going to be home view model. All right. Now inside this grid, we are going to use a collection view. With that, we'll say item source equals finding posts. All right. Now we need to use our data template selector. Okay. So for this, we have item template here, and in here we are going to set our static resource, and then we have this post data template selector. We are going to use this one. Save it, and we are good with this. Alright, we set item template, we set item source. Post data template selector, it will do the trick for us. Save everything. Let's select the API project first. Let's select our dev tunnel, and then just start this API as non-debugging mode, and then we'll run our mobile app and we'll see on homepage what are we seeing. Okay, so I'll let it run. I'll connect my physical device and I'll run the MAUI application. App is coming up. Let's see. So it opened homepage and we have this login has expired. It should have been expired. I was recording yesterday. Now it's day after that, and we have 8 hours expiration time for our JWT. Yes, go to login. We are here. Now we'll say temp1 at gmail.com 123456 login, and we are not going to see anything here. This is an issue. We need to work on this as well, because right now what we are doing, we are saying that in constructor we are fetching the initial post, but when we are on this page it didn't fetch anything. We went back to login, came back to this one. Now this constructor was already called, it will not refetch this. We need to have some hook to refetch this. We'll work on it later, but right now let's try to restart the app. When we'll restart it, we should see the post which we created yesterday when we are trying the error in uploading post and all that. And we have some error. Response status code does not indicate success, internal server error. We'll see what this is. Okay, and let's try to see if we have something in our, yes, API call stack. So we have some problem. If we check, it says an exception occurred while iterating over the result of a query of context type social media. This data context system invalid cast operation, unable to cast object of type system.int32 to system.boolean. It cannot convert int32 to boolean. This is from our get posts. Let's try what we have in get post. Where are we having that conversion? In API project, we'll go to data, we'll go to migrations, create sp get posts, and here something is not right. ID is good, user ID is good, name is string, photo URL string, content string, photo URL string, posted on date time, this is date time, and is liked and is bookmarked are boolean. Here we are saying when this is, then 1 and then 0. Okay, so what is happening here, when we have this case, we are saying that then 1 and 0, these are getting treated as integer values. So we are actually trying to set integer to is liked on our post DTO, which is boolean. So how this is thinking this, that we are trying to assign integer to boolean. In this case, what we need to do, we need to cast these 1 and 0s to boolean values. Okay, so let's quickly do this. So we'll say cast 1 as bit. Bit is for boolean in, equal, 1 and 0 is for boolean in, 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 1 and 0 is for boolean in cast 1 as bit, and for 0, same thing, cast 0 as bit. Now we are going to have a problem. This is fine, this should work, but we need to rerun this actually. What I am going to do, I am going to manually run this, but when you will get it, you will run it, you will already have everything set up. Now, why I need to rerun this? Because this migration is already ran. So this will not rerun. For this, you have two options. One more options, you can again create a new migration, empty migration. So add migration and then have this same thing there with these changes. So then it will rerun. Okay, but I'm just not doing this. I will manually run these. But for now, because we for you, you already know that this was the problem, or your initial migration is going to have this thing. So you should be good. Now we should do the same thing in those as well, right? The other procedures, user posts and user bookmarks, right? Here also we are going to have same thing. Yes. Let's copy these two lines, add this in get user posts. Same thing I guess we will have in bookmark post. Save these. I'm going to run these against my database and then I'll restart this. We have this. Let's try. Three items. Open any one. We have photo URL, which has this complete thing. We have username posted on display. We don't have it. Or do we? This is default value. Okay. Posted on display, posted on, post ID. Post ID also we should have. But this URL, we should have this value. Let's copy this entire thing. Open the browser. Let's paste it here. And it is saying HTTP error 404. And why this is happening? Uploads images, users, and we have this image. Let's try in our stop everything. Go to API, www root, uploads, images, users, this thing, post, and we have these images. And these are not coming. Do let me in the comment if you understood what the problem is, because I understood what this is. Alright, so the problem here is this is our API. We are using www root folder which we created. This was not by default there, right? How API is set up, this does not directly serve the static files. For this, we need to tell these to use the static files, right? So we need to set up the static files middleware in our HTTP request pipeline to allow to tell the API that we can have some static files in our API. Okay. So after HTTPS redirection, and we don't need this middleware, right? We are debugging, that's why we added this. Remove this and we'll say app.use static files. Save it. Let's rerun the API. Debug, start without debugging. Let it run and then we'll simply restart our, not restart, yeah, restart our app. But before that, we'll quickly see if we are getting this image. And now we are getting this image. All right. Now let's try mobile app again. We have this breakpoint. Let's continue. And we have images. Yes. We have images, we have text content, but we have name, but we don't have this posted on display. Are we not using posted on display the right way, or what is? Let's see what is happening with posted on display. So modified on, if this is null, we use posted on. Somehow these values are not there. JSON ignore this one. Hmm. Let's put breakpoint again. We have that breakpoint. Let's try getting the response again. Home view model. Posts. This is like this. Let me do this. Let me try what we have in our database. If I run select star from posts, photo URL, photo path, ID, we have posted on and we have modified on as null. Hmm. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to the API and try to see what we are getting there. Maybe we are getting the actual data, but we are somehow this is not passing it to the UI layer, the mobile application. Let's see what we are getting in our API. Post service and get post async. Here we have this, right? Let's put a breakpoint here. Now I'm going to use this one. Sorry, this profile. I want both of these to run together so that we can debug both. We can put breakpoint on both. App is loading. Okay, depth tunnel is here and app is trying to load. We need to have the activity indicator here as well. We got breakpoint in our API. Now let's see what we have in posts. If we open any of these, we have posted on. We have posted on display. And we have modified on as null. So that means when we are passing these things to the UI, then this is not working. That means we need to modify our post DTO slightly. We'll go to our post DTO. Here what we are okay, what is happening here? These are getting JSON ignored. So on UI, when we trying to get this, both of these are not there. What I mean is both of these have the default values. It is just giving us default value because these did not get passed to the UI. So instead, what we can do, we should actually JSON ignore this one. But we can provide these two. So now posted on, modified on, these two are going to uh, flow from the API to our mobile application, mobile MAUI. And on MAUI side, when we'll access this is not going to be traveled through our network. So this will be automatically computed when we are accessing it. And we are accessing it on our API, mobile homepage. Then it is going to see this. If modified on has value, it will display this. If it does not have value, then it will use posted on, which should always have a value. All right. And apart from this, we were getting all other values, right? Let's go back to our MAUI profile. We'll run the API, start without debugging, and then we'll start the MAUI mobile application separately. Run it. breakpoint. Continue. And we have this with the proper date time. We will format this, but right now we can see that we are getting the first one. We just have image, and we'll see there is no extra space or all. We have chosen very bad images, but we are good. Then for second one, we have those both text content and image. Then we have third one where we have just image. Let's create a new post. We need to add that same uh, command on this plus button as well. So we'll click on this here. Just say just text content to test the template selector on the home, like this. Post. And we need to have that pull to refresh because we need to refresh the data, which we are not able to right now. So let's restart. And this time the text content should be on the very top because we are using order by descending. And we can see, and here we just have this thing. That means our data template selector is working and all other templates are working because we are getting the actual data. There is no extra space or anything. In this we just have text content, so it is rendering just text content, no extra space for image and all this. All right, so looks like we are able to use our templates, we are able to get the data. Now let's have some spacing between these items. So if you remember on home page, when we were close all this, when we had our design, there was some spacing which we had in this vertical stack layout. We had spacing of 15. So we need to have the same spacing within these items. So for this, on collection view, we can set our items layout. Okay, and inside this items layout, we are going to use linear item layout with orientation as vertical, which is default. This is required. And here we can provide our item spacing. Okay, so let's have 15, save it, and we can see this spacing. You see this spacing. We are good with this spacing as well. Now we'll see the when we are scrolling the collection view, then it should has the next data. Okay, and activity indicator. So first we can work on activity indicator. Actually, inside this grid only, we can have the same activity indicator. We can copy from login or register page. So let's copy from register page activity indicator, and is busy already a defined property there, so it should directly work. All right, let's quickly restart this one more time. And then for that endless scrolling, for that one we'll set it up, and then I'm going to add some data offline so that you don't have to watch me adding. Yeah, we can see this activity indicator and we have the data. Okay, let me first add data to this. Okay, I'm going to add it offline. I'll pause this recording. I'll add a handful of posts and then I'll resume. Okay, all right, so I added couple of entries. Now let's see. In database I checked, I have now total 20 entries with some images, text. So this is image with text, just image, just image, just image, just image, just image, just text, just image, and both image and text, image and text. All right, so we have these entries here. Now let's implement the paging first. Okay, so when the scroll view is getting to the end, then it should fetch the new set of data. All right, let's quickly do this. We'll go to our home view model, but before that, in home page, for this, on this home, not home, this collection view, we are going to set something. And that something is are going to be remaining items threshold. Okay, remaining item threshold. That means when it should start fetching the new set of data. How many items should be there after the current UI? Let's say we have 10 items right now in the collection view. So when we are scrolling, at till what point it reach when it should start the next set of data. So if I'll say 3, remaining items threshold 3, what it will do if we have 10 items in a page and we are scrolling, so as soon as it reaches at the seventh item, there are 3 more items in the list which are right now not on the screen, not on the current visible viewport. It will start fetching the new set of data. Okay, so this is how this remaining threshold works. For our testing, we can set it some smaller things so that we can at least see, because we don't have a lot of data, and we'll set the page size to a bit smaller. So here we are saying 2, and let's say page size let be maybe 7, because we already total have 20 items only, so at least we should have 3 pages. All right, the remaining item threshold is 2. Then we need to define that remaining item threshold reached. This is an event, but we are going to use command. What should happen when it reaches that? In that case, what we want it to call this fetch post async. That means we will use our command. This is not command, right? Yeah, this is relay command. So we should see fetch posts command. All right, let's save it and restart the app. This time we should see I changed the page size, right? Yes, it will load the 7 items. Then when we'll start scrolling, when it will reach the 5th item, it will again make a request to fetch the data. It will again get the next 7 items. If I do this, you saw we had that activity indicator quickly. Then we have all these items, right? So that thing is working. Our paging is working, our endless scrolling is working. Now let's quickly work on the pull to refresh as well. Okay, so for this, what we'll do, we'll actually define a new property, observable property, and a new method, or let's say event, not event, command, which will actually going to uh, use this. When I say this the pull to refresh view basically. Okay, so we are going to have a private pool, let's say is refreshing, and we are going to use it as observable property so that we can change it. Then we are going to have a command private async task. We'll say, let's say refresh post async, and inside this first thing we'll set our start index to 0. All right, and then we can simply call our same fetch post async method, this one. Now it will come to this case. We will have start index as 0 and post.count is greater than 0. We already have some post and start index is 0. Then it will simply clear out the post and it will again set start index from scratch, from initial, and then it will add the items to this collection. Let's make it to relay command. Let's go back to home page. All right. And here we'll have our refresh view. So we are going to wrap entire thing, that this entire grid in the refresh view. Here we'll say refresh view, paste it, save it. Then let's go to the top, and on this refresh view, we can set something. So first is refreshing. This will bind with binding. Is refreshing, right? What is that? Refreshing. What is the name of the property? Is refreshing. Oh, because it is in running mode. All right, stop it. And where is this? Yes, so have this is refreshing, and then command. When it is refreshing, then what command it should call? So we'll say binding and refresh posts command. Save everything and let's run it. Now we should have this pull to refresh functionality. We have this app initial fetch. Then if I do this, you see I'm pulling from the top. It's showing me this, and it is not getting set back to false. This is a thing which we should set explicitly. So when we pull to refresh, it sets this is refreshing this property to true, calls this command, then it does not know, that refresh view does not know when this command finished its job, right? This we know because we have defined this command, we have defined this method, so we know that it has done its job. So setting it back to false, this is our job. So after doing this fetch processing, here we'll do that is refreshing to false. Save and restart. So right, we have the data and try full to refresh and we are getting this. Now quickly see if it is actually working. We can simply go here, create a new post. Testing pull to refresh functionality. I'll save this. Post saved, it came back, but we didn't refresh this. So if I pull to refresh, we should see this first thing on the very top. So you see, we have this. That means pull to refresh is also working now. Now let's quickly change this, the format of this date time if we want to. Hi, we should. Let's go to homepage.xaml. No, we are not having it on homepage.xaml, right? We are having this in our templates. So this first one is, which one is this? This one is post with no image, right? Post with no image, post with no image. This is the one. Let's open all because we need to set this on all. Close home page, close register, post with no image. We have this posted on display. Here we can provide a string format. Let's say I'll say in India we have DDMM YYYY. Okay, save it and we can see this. Not this MM, uppercase MM, this one. Okay, or we can simply say space MMM, this one. We have this. So on all the text posts, we are going to see this text post. All right. So we'll do the same thing on all of our templates. So this one posted on display, save it, and on this one as well. So on all these three, we are going to set this. Now we should see this thing on all. All right. Keep on scrolling. It will keep on loading the next set of data, and we are good. We reached at the very end. Now we have everything in here. So with this, our home page is ready. All right. We have this command on this one, right? On this top one, we should have the same behavior on this plus button as well. Let's quickly do this as well. Then we'll start working on our detail page. Right now, if you go to home page, homepage.xaml.cs, I guess we are getting it here. So add post tabbed, we are using this thing here. It's up to us. We can keep on using this, or we can simply create a command in our home view model and use that. Let's do this. Let's go to our home view model. We can create a command here. We'll say private async task. Say go to add post async. Here we can say await navigate async, right? And we just need to have this name of add post page, nothing else. And let's add it as a relay command, save it, stop it, and then let's go to home page. Let's go to our floating action button. This is the one, right? Yes. This border, we are going to have border dot gesture recognizers, tab gesture recognizer, command. We are going to say binding. Go to add post command. Save it. We should be good. Same thing we'll do in the title view grid. We have this tab gesture recognizer tabbed add post. Instead of tabbed event, we are going to use command. So command binding and go to add post command. Save it. And now we don't need this event. We can get rid of this. Save everything. Let's quickly run it one more time. So we'll see we are able to go to the add post page when we are clicking on floating action button and when we are clicking the plus icon on the main title bar. Okay, we have this. If we click on this, working same. If we click on this, working same. So we are good, right? This is working fine now. Cool. Now next thing we'll work on our detail page. All right. And we'll work on this like, comment, save, all these things later. But right now we just want to get all the pages done. So we'll go to the detail page now.